Hi students, in the last class we have discussed about the signals, classification of the signals, various operations that can be performed on the signal. The next one is a system. We have already discussed that the system can be defined as a device or a process or an algorithm that manipulate one or more signal to accomplish a function, thereby yielding the output signal. Okay, there is always a system associated with the generation of each signal and another system associated with the extraction of information from the signal. And also we have discussed about the examples for systems such as a rectifier. If an pulsating DC output is the output of the rectifier, whereas the input to the system is the AC input signal. So these are all the examples of the system. Now we will discuss about the properties of the system. So here in this signals and system, we are going to discuss about the different properties. The first property is a static and dynamic system. Okay. So here what we are going to do is they will give a system relation between the input and the output. We need to check whether the system is satisfying this property or not. Okay. So listen here, first one is a static and dynamic system. Okay, here a system is said to be a static or dynamic if it satisfies some condition. So if a system is said to be static, that is, it does not depend upon memory. So if there is no need of memory, it is a static system. If, for a dynamic system, it needs memory. Okay, so why there is a need of memory? So if the output is y of n or y of t, okay, so if the output is y of n or y of t, it depends upon the present input, that is input is x of n or x of t. Okay, so there is no need of memory, just it depends on the present condition. If it depends on the future values such as x of n minus k and past values, that is advanced values, here it is x of n plus k. So in order to store these things you need a memory, right? Then only we are able to give input to the current time. So it needs a memory. Okay, so here in the static system depends upon the present value of the output, only depends upon the present value of the input and does not depends upon the past or future values of the input. So here there is no need of memory, so it is a memoryless system. If the present output depends upon the past or future values of the input, then the system is said to be a dynamic system. Understood? So what is static and dynamic? If it depends upon present only, there is no need of memory to store the previous value or future values. Okay, so here there is no need of memory, so the system is said to be static. In case of dynamic, what happened? If the output depends upon the past or future values of the input, then the system is said to be a dynamic system, that is the system with memory. So now we will see some example for this. So consider V of t is equal to I of t into R. Okay, so in this present output is here, we will supply a voltage to any circuit. Consider there is some circuit here. Okay, so I am applying the voltage to this circuit. Okay, so you will find out the current or output, right? So here we are going to find out the output as a current. So I of t is equal to V of t by R. So in this, input is V of t and output is I of t. So in this, the present output I of t depends only on the present input V of t. It does not depend upon the past values or future values. Okay, so it is said to be a static. There is no memory is needed. Okay, so it is said to be a static. Okay, so the next one is, here consider this, V of t equal to 1 by c integral minus infinity to infinity I of tau d tau. So this is the relation between input and output for a capacitor. So you know that capacitor is a system that stores charges. Okay, so it needs memory. So it is a dynamic system. Okay, so next one, considered y of n is equal to 2x of n. So here the output is y of n and the input is x of n. There is, this output y of n depends only on the present input x of n. So it is a memoryless system, hence it is said to be a static system. Okay, now consider y of n is equal to summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k. What is the meaning of it? This output depends upon all the values. It starts from minus infinity, then x of 0 up to x of plus infinity. So this is what the current input, right? So this depends upon past and the future values. Okay, so they need a system with memory. So this is said to be a dynamic system. Hope I have understand the difference between static and dynamic. It is very simple. Static is memoryless, dynamic is memory. Why it is memoryless? It does not depend upon any past or future values, so it is memoryless. Dynamic depends upon past and future values, so it is memory dependent. So this is the difference between a static and dynamic system. The next is causal and non-causal system. A system is said to be causal if the present value of the output depends only on the present and past value of the input signal, and it does not depend upon the future value of the input signal. Such a system is said to be an causal system. Okay, so that is output. If there is an output, this output depends upon present and past values of the input. Okay, if it depends on only the present and past value, it is said to be a causal system. Now for a non-causal system, this is for causal. This is for the causal condition. Okay, for non-causal, the output depends on the present input, past input as well as the future input. Okay, so this is said to be a non-causal system. Okay, now in real world there is no existence of non-causal system because we may not able to predict the future input. So in this causal system for real-time implementation is unrealizable. Okay, so now here consider, I will explain how to find the present input and past input. Okay, so consider any relation. Here y of t is equal to x of t plus 1. Here to compute the output, this is a future value. How it is a future value? Consider t plus 1 is equal to 0, t equal to minus 1. So here when you plot it, so this is for t greater than or equal to 0 and t less than 0. So here at time t, when time shift here here we will get, suppose at time t equal to 0.5, if there is a delay, I will add some 1 second here. So that the at that time value at time t equal to 0.5 will move to 1.5. So it is shifted to that particular time. So here now for at time t equal to 0, this become the past values. Okay. So here like that, this current the output at the particular instant depends upon the past value. That is, if it is past, it should be like this, it should be in the negative value, that is t minus k. When you substitute t minus k equal to 0, you will get t equal to k, which represent positive side. Okay, if the that is index represent positive side, then it is said to be an causal system. If it lies on the negative side, negative means here at time t is equal to 0 we are going to give the input, but at time t equal to minus 1 we are getting output. Whether it is possible here, whether it is possible, I am going to consider, I am going to give input at 4 p.m. Okay, but I am getting output at 3.59 p.m. Whether it is possible for that? So this is the future. Therefore this is not past. Okay, this is the future. I am getting previously with the before giving the input, then it is said to be a causal system. Okay, so the depending upon, it is said to be a non-causal system. Okay va, future depend பண்ணி இருந்ததுன்னா அது வந்து non-causal system. Only present and past it depends, it's said to be a causal system. Okay, so this is what your non-causal sequence. Now consider this one, y is equal to x of minus t. Consider I am having a signal like this. When I reverse it, what I will get in the negative side, right? Okay, so it depends upon the future value. So here it is a non-causal system. Okay. So the next one is y of n is equal to x of n plus 2. Here n plus 2 is equal to 0, n is equal to minus 2. So it is an advance, so it is a non-causal system. So this is what you need to find. It is very simple. If n takes negative index, it represents future value. If n takes 0 or positive index, it represents present and past values. So if we take this future value, it is said to be a non-causal. If it is if we take that is a positive value, it is said to be a causal. So that is the difference. Okay. So the next one is linear and non-linear system. The system is said to be linear if it satisfies the following two requirements. First, it should satisfy the homogeneity and scaling property. Next one, it should satisfy the additive property. I will explain what is homogeneity and scaling and additive property. So it is very simple. Consider an output y of t. If you are getting an output y of t, okay, so consider an output y of t. Here when you are getting this output y of t is for input x of t. Okay, so if I am giving any signal x of t, I am getting y of t. So now I am scaling the signal by an factor a. So what I will get is I have to get a into y of t. Okay, so if I scale the input, output should automatically scale. Consider previously x of t is equal to, I am having the amplitude 2. Okay, now I am multiplying this signal by a factor of 4. So what I have to get at the output, I have to get at the output 8, right? So that is what the correct scaling. Okay, so instead of getting 8, I am getting 2 alone. Whether the output is scale, no, it is not scale, right? So that is the homogeneity or scaling property. So the next one is additive property. What is the additive property is if consider two signals. So x1 of t producing the signal y1 of t and x2 of t producing the signal y2 of t. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to add the two signal x1 and x2. I am going to give to a system. This should produce an output y1 of t plus y2 of t. Okay, so consider here this is a system. I am giving x of t, it should produce y1 of t. When I give x2 of t, it should produce y2 of t. When I am adding the two signal I am giving to a system, it should produce the y1 of t plus y2 of t. So that is the additive property. Okay. If a system satisfies both homogeneity and additive property, it is said to be a linear system. Okay. This is said to be a linear system. Now combining these two operation, combining these two additivity, homogeneity, we are going to represent this as x of t equal to a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t. So here I am representing two signal, I am adding two signal as well as I am scaling the factor by a factor of by a scaling constant a and b. So it should produce that is when I give this input to the system, it produces a y1 of t plus b y2 of t. Okay, now I will explain with this problem, then only you will understand this. Now consider y of t equal to e power x of t. What is the meaning of it? When I giving a signal, it is producing an exponential of that particular value at the output. Okay, now I am going to check the homogeneity and additivity property. So for the case, what we have to do is, this is the step. So first I am going to assume there are two signal x1 of t, x2 of t. So I consider this equation y1 of t. So if I give x1 of t, so how wherever you are having x of t, there replace x1 of t. Then the output will automatically be y1 of t. The next is I am giving another signal x2 of t. So wherever you are having x2 of t, wherever you are having x of t, replaced by x2 of t. So this is what your x1 of t and x2 of t. Now x3 of t is nothing but a into x1 of t, b into x2 of t. That is you are going to check this condition now. Okay, x3 of t is equal to add these, scale it and add a x1 of t plus b x2 of t. Now here what I am going to do is I am going to consider this as a single input. I am going to give this to the system. What is the system performing? It is performing the exponential operation, right? So now I am going to give x3 of t. Okay, so here now I am going to give x3 of t. So what is x3 of t? A into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t. Okay, so now I am giving in here, replacing x3 of t in by this equation. Now see here, x3 of t, when you simplify this, what you will get? You will get e into we can e into a x1 of t into e into b x2 of t. Okay, you will get it, right? Yes. So now consider this one. Now add this x3 of t, a x1 of t plus b x2 of t. Now you add these two signal, whether both are same? No, they both are not same. Then the system is said to be a non-linear system. So now better you will understand when you solve two more problems. Here see, y of n is equal to x square of n. First step, what you need to consider? Two signal. So first one, x1 of n is y1 of n. So y1 of n is equal to x1 square. Next one is x2 of n. So now it become y2 of n, which is equal to x2 square of n. Okay, now what we need to do? We need to scale. So okay, scale a x1 of n plus b x2 of n. So what will happen here? If you are giving x1 of n, what will be the output? X1 square. If you give in x2 of n, what will be at the output? It will be x2 square of n. Now I am going to scale. So what you will get? You will get this. So consider this is equation 1. Okay, now similarly we need to add and give it. First we will give separately, that is I have x1 of n, x2 of n. So okay, so what I'm going to that is add it by an adder. Yes, and I am going to give at the system. I am going to find out the output. Okay, so the next one, what it is, what I did is I given x1 of n, which is a scaled version. This is a x1 of n with the output which is producing y1 of n. Then I am giving x2 of n with a scaled version b to a system, that is y2 of n. Okay, now adding these two will give the same result. This is output 1, this is output 2, will give the same result. Okay, now I am considering x3 of t. X3 of is nothing but addition of these two signals. So a x1 of n, so here a, here b, a x1 of n plus b x2 of t I am giving to a system as a single input. So what is the relation? y1 of n is equal to x square of n. So wherever you are having x of n, just replace with this. So you will get a x1 of n plus b x2 of n the whole square. So you will get a square x1 square of n plus b square x2 square of n by a plus b the whole square formula. Now previous answer, this answer is not same. So the system is not a linear system.